Hello everyone, welcome to my video. Today we will learn about SSH. SSH stands for Secure Shell Protocol. We use SSH to securely connect to a remote machine, whether it be a server, VM, bare metal, etc. over the network. We can use two different tools. If you're comfortable with command line, you can use the command line syntax, as well as we will practice with some of the SSH tools that we use daily, such as Putty and MobaxTerm. Okay, for command line, we enter SSH command as well as the remote username and the IP address of the remote machine. You can also specify the host name of the remote machine instead of IP address. If the remote machine is not using the default port for SSH, which is 22, we can also provide the customized port that the remote machine is using the flag -p. Okay, now let's see how it works. First, we will try command line. As you can see, I'm running a virtual machine on my VMware workstation. So I'm going to use SSH from a Windows command line prompt to connect remotely to my virtual machine in VMware. So first I'm going to get the IP address of the server, remote server. So IP addr show, it will show me my IP address. The IP address is 192.168.169.136. So I'm going to use the command as I specified in the PowerPoint. The command is SSH. Then I'm going to enter the remote host username that I'm trying to SSH as. So the username I'm going to SSH as is DevOps. So DevOps user does exist in this remote machine. So I'm going to enter that DevOps at the IP address, which is 192.168.1.136. So it says, are you sure you want to connect to the remote continue connecting? Yes. So I'm going to enter the user the password of the remote user, and here I am. As you can see, my prompt changed. I'm no longer the DevOps dude in Windows machine. Now I am a DevOps user in the remote machine. The remote machine IP is as specified 192.168.169.136. Let me verify that. So IP addr show, and as you can see, I'm connected to the remote machine. So this is how we use command line to SSH into a remote machine. As before, I still have the same virtual machine. So the IP address of this virtual machine is 192.168.169.136, and we're going to remember that. So this is MobaxTerm. After you install MobaxTerm from Google, you can search if you want to install Putty or MobaxTerm, you search in Google and install MobaxTerm or Putty. So after you install, you will see this screen. So to open a SSH session, we're going to click on session. So MobaxTerm has many different features. That's why Mobax is one of my favorite SSH tool. Also, I can use it for RDP, VNC, FTP, SFTP, which is very useful. So for now, we're going to use SSH session. We're going to specify the remote host, which is the IP address 192.168.169.136, and we're going to specify the username that we want to log in as. So we're going to use DevOps, and we're going to use the default port 22. If you have any other port you want to specify, you can specify that here. Of course, there are advanced settings you can specify in MobaxTerm. You can specify if you want to use a private key. You can specify many different things, networking settings. Also bookmark the the session. You can name the session as well, which is very useful if you're constantly using this same session. So we're going to press OK. We're not going to specify any advanced settings. Press OK. We're going to provide the password of the DevOps, the user DevOps. Okay. So do we want to save the password? I'm going to say no. Now we're connected to the remote machine, right? So we can verify that IP addr show. Here we are with our IP address is 192.168.169.136. So we're connected to the virtual machines we have. So this is how you use MobaxTerm to connect to or SSH into a remote machine. Of course, this is a machine that I have installed in using VMware Workstation on my laptop, but you can also connect to remote machines on cloud or on another network if you have the permission. So today we have learned how we use SSH to securely connect to a remote machine. Thank you for watching my video.